Good afternoon. My name is Jim Bennett. I'm a 100% disabled veteran with PTSD. It took a suicide attempt to get attention from the federal government because I was living in a shack without a shower. They have the money. They spent over $1 trillion on Afghanistan. I worked in the Pentagon before 9/11. I went to Afghanistan in 2011 and 2012. They have the fucking money.
American dream feel outdated right now. The dream is no more there. Because how can you dream when your rent is due? How can you dream when you cannot afford medical care? How can you dream when there is unfair wages? This is where regrets start to hit. When I talk about the white people or white America is regretting, this is where it starts to hit. For white Americans, the pain is fresh. It feels like betrayal. But for black Americans, it's a confirmation that it was reality. We have been telling you for decades.
Me as a millennial is pissed off. All we did was fucking scammed. We were told that if we went to school, we got good grades, we got a good job, that we would be able to work hard, have the American dream, be able to own our own home, have a family of whatever that might look like.
We can't afford our rent. We can't afford our prescriptions. We can't afford insulin. We can't afford healthcare. We can't afford our education.
It's just so frustrating that we did everything they told us to do. We went to school, we got educated, we worked hard, we did everything they told us to do, and then when we're actually out in the world, they want to charge us $1,800 for a one-bedroom apartment that really ain't shit. And then when they talk about, oh, the future is going to be great for you, you just got to work hard and stay down. How? A lot of people don't have savings. They're spending it all on basic shit, like housing and groceries. And what scares me the most is that more and more people are becoming aware of how fucked it is. And all we do, we record a video, we post it on TikTok, we post it on Instagram, we post it on social media, and then we say, well, I've done my part, and we close out the app, and then we go about our day. That doesn't fix anything.
Part about being a millennial is we just got to watch our parents try their best and be successful. They all had homes and 401ks and health insurance, and they were like, we just did our best. And then they were telling us, they're like, just go to college and you can do anything. If you just go to college, you can do anything. So we all went to college and now we're in debt. We have no fucking money or jobs or housing. Everything sucks. And then they're like, well, why didn't you go to trade school? And we're like, yeah, how can you be mad at something?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Kenyan Beast. Today's video is a heavy one, but is one we have to talk about. We are unpacking the American dream. I know everyone have come across American dream. As Africans, we have lived to think about American dream, and we know every African. I know right now, a few of them have started knowing about American dream is not as we think it is, because we are learning, we are seeing, and we have black American people. They are telling us. And the promise of American dream is work hard, follow the rules, play by the book, and you will succeed. And for decades, the idea was a gospel, especially for white Americans. But now, more and more white folks are waking up in the fact that the dream is dead. The American dream is no more. And for black Americans, that's not news. For black Americans, they have been living like this. It was a reality to them all along. They knew all this, and they have been trying to tell white people about it. They have been trying to tell Moaso, poor white people, and the middle-class white people that you are being played. But they never listen until now. Now white people are creating videos out there on social media trying to talk about how the dream is no more because of the lifestyle is getting hard. It is getting tougher every now and then. When you talk about the American dream, first of all, it's a phrase. And this phrase came from someone called James Truslow Adams in 1931. He wrote that life in America should be better, richer, fuller for everyone, regardless of social class or where you came from. And for many white Americans, especially after WW2, that's World War II, it felt real, so real, But right now, fast forward up to now, it's getting messy. And that's what we're going to talk about. But before we dive deep in that video, I've compiled clips of Americans trying to talk about the American dream, how dead it is. And some of them have just break down. Some of them are like, okay, we can't do this anymore. I want you to watch these clips, and then we'll come back here and try to talk about them.
I'm sorry, but the American dream never fucking existed. Like, what? Your dream is to work until you are 65 and decrepit and not be able to make ends meet the entire time? Like, I'm sorry, but that just does not sound remotely appealing to me. It's not even about the dream anymore. Like, people are literally just trying to afford living in America. And here's the thing. If you are working for America, you will never be able to live your dream life in America. Like, and I know that most of you are probably already scrolled by now because you don't think it's possible to live in America without working for America. I was a server at the beginning of 2023. I quit my serving job. I started affiliate and digital marketing in April of 2023 and have now made almost $300,000 working online, and none of that came from my serving job. So if you are genuinely interested in working for yourself, starting an online business, check out the roadmap. It's at the top of my page. It literally shows you everything that you need to know to make money online, to start digital marketing. But I promise your dreams are so much more achievable than you think they are, but you're probably not going to reach very many of them by living that American dream life.
So the American dream is a lie. And before you scroll on, hear me out. I'm sure once it was made originally, it was probably actually somewhat true. But over the years, the way that the system has changed to basically put us at a disadvantage has a lot of implications. And let me get into it here. So think about the idea of the American dream. It says if you work hard enough, you can achieve your dream. You can live a good life. Just work hard. And what the implications of that is saying that if you don't live your dream, then you're not working hard enough. You're lazy. Right? You just need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you need to work harder, and then you'll get your dream. And that kind of makes sense, except for it's ignoring all the systemic changes and issues that literally are fighting against us being able to accomplish this American dream. Like, let's just look at how basically, who does that benefit, right? Like, we have to pick ourselves up, we have to work harder, right? Well, we're working for someone, right? So that's making those people richer, right? It's not actually, helping us very much. We're getting a couple more hours a day. Maybe with our third or fourth job, but it's like, it's mainly putting money to the top, to the people that own the companies. And then not only that, but if we decide to go out on our own, it's extra hard because we have to earn like triple the amount of money that we would in a job, or double, I would say double the amount of money that we would in a job because of healthcare. Because basically in our system, healthcare is tied to our job at this point. So if we quit our job, we're basically gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, we can't get healthcare for our family. Like, not only that, but like, think about how everything has gotten more expensive. Inflation has gone crazy. But how much have they been paying us? What's the minimum wage? That stayed about the same. You know what I mean? Like, it has not increased. The housing costs has increased exponentially. Like, there's so many things that have make it so that the American dream is not sustainable, not obtainable, and is literally propaganda at this point. And that is what so many people still believe. And they just believe that they're lazy, or people that are lazy that aren't working hard enough. When the American dream was set, it wasn't the world that we're living in today. It was way more obtainable. It was possible to start your own business and to get a job and to get a job at McDonald's and succeed. And have a house and have a family and afford everything you would want. But that's not how it is anymore. So the American dream today is a lie.
Can you name just one that does that? Neither can I. And also remember, too, the same people terrified of Doge wanted to hire 87,000 IRS agents to audit you to make sure you pay more. Why? Why do they want more? Don't they have enough? Unbelievable.
Listen, if you still want to come to America because you believe in the American dream, let me tell you something. That dream died like 30 plus years ago, and now we're living in a dream that involves paying $10 for a dozen of shitty fucking eggs, paying $2,000 a month for an apartment in the ghetto that's about 700 square feet and it has no walls. And then if you want to go to university here, you're looking at around $100,000 for a 4-year education. That's on the low end. But in those 4 years, you might get shot because everyone seems to want to shoot each other for some ungodly reason. Then you're going to graduate thinking, oh, I graduated, I have a degree now, I'm going to get a good job. Your good job is going to pay you about $40,000 starting off, maybe, and then they're going to say you're going to work 40 hours a week. When in reality, you're going to be working about 50 plus hours a week because they're going to guilt trip you in by saying, we're a family, we're a team, we help each other. And they're not going to pay you overtime for that, because why would they? If they get your help for free, why would they pay you for that? Okay? Then there's no work-life balance. That company you're working for now doesn't want to give you vacation days until like maybe your second year working there. And those vacation days are maybe 4 days out of the whole entire year. That includes holidays. All right. Then if you're sick, too bad, you still have to come to work. Okay. Then if you want to buy groceries, your groceries are going to be your whole entire paycheck, because no one can afford to eat here anymore. Got it? I go to the grocery store for 4 things. It's like $50. I'm just saying it sucks living here. I don't want to live here. I want to leave. So maybe you should rethink your whole American dream, because it's not what it's all cracked up to be. Okay? Okay, love.
Like, I'm seeing videos of people moving into RVs because they cannot afford home ownership. Like, or they can't afford rent. So it's just cheaper to live in an RV. Like, this is crazy. Why can't the wages be high enough where you can live comfortably as a single person? I don't know if I'm ever going to be a homeowner, let alone ever move out of my parents' house. Because rent alone, you have to make 3 times the rent. What's 3 times $2,000? You would have to make $72,000 to afford that. And if you can't afford that, you have to have someone who loves you enough to co-sign for you. Like, and then on top of that, if you do live with your parents or family, the BS that comes with that. Like, as much as you may love your family, I guarantee you when you're my age, 27 or 26 years old, or you're getting close to 30, you don't want to live with your parents anymore. But I don't make enough to afford to move out. Like, even now, as a higher level position of a job that I just got, I'm still not gonna make enough to move out. Couple dollars more an hour, I'm still not gonna be able to afford to move out of my parents' house. I'm still in credit card debt. I'm still living check to check. And if I did not have my parents' house right now, which I'm sharing a bed in, and don't have my own room currently, I would be homeless. I would literally be homeless. And I was only able to get this job that makes a couple dollars more an hour after putting thousands of applications in. Was just able to get this job, like, is gonna keep my head above water with my bills. And it's very high stress too. I think the American dream was once a thing where, like, our parents and our grandparents, they don't know what they're talking about. Half of them give the advice of when you're 18, move out, do this. That was possible for them. That's not possible for our generation now. That's why I don't even shame people who are doing OF right now, whatever. It is hard as hell to make a living right now. It is so challenging. And most people around me are too comfortable. They're too comfortable at their low-wage jobs. They're too comfortable with where they're at. And I'm not. Every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't like where I'm at. I should not feel like this. I'm meant for more. I should strive for more. But a lot of the people around me have just kind of accepted their fate and accepted where they are. I think that's all there is. And I'm like, no, that's not all there is for me. The cycle of poverty is so hard to get out of. I'm going to make a part 2 to this.
I would much rather chill here in the villages of Bulgaria and Eastern Europe with the chickens than be in America right now. Because life here is just so simple, so elegant. I don't have the stress of paying $3,000, $4,000 a month for rent. I don't have to worry about that shit. My rent here is $200 a month. What do I have to worry about? I don't have to worry about being stuck in traffic 17 hours a day. Like, what? All these foods in America injected with all these hormones and steroids and GMOs. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I want chicken, I got one right here in my backyard. I don't need to be in America to be happy. So people that say America is the greatest country in the world, I'm sorry to say. I am so sorry to say. That is just not true. And I think everybody is beginning to realize that. Everybody's beginning to realize how shit America actually is. The American dream? Yeah, that's just something Hollywood sold you. So don't believe it. There is no American dream. That's been dead since the 70s. I'm going to be chilling with the chickens. So, excuse me while I go enjoy my life.
All we did was get fucked. Me as a millennial is pissed and scammed. We were told that if we went to school, we got good grades, we got a good job, that we would be able to work hard, have the American dream, be able to own our own home, have a family of whatever that might look like, be able to own what we want, and be comfortable doing so. We were told work hard. Even though we're the generation that works the hardest, in my opinion, we're told we're fucking lazy. Well, I'm here to tell you, I work between 52 and 55 hours a week. I make decent money. I have a decent job. And I don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I can't help but to look at what my parents had when they were my age, when they were 32, 33 years old. They already owned their own home. They had their own car. They had me. They owned everything in their home. They had a decent amount of money. And my mom had a pretty okay job. We were very middle class. But it's like middle class now is if you're making over $100,000 a year. And what job is going to give you that? If you were to get an apartment where I live is $1,500. You need first, last, and security. How are you? Who has $4,500 to just throw around? I make decent money, but it's like the American dream is a fucking scam. And then we elect this big fat ass orange, put him in office, and I feel like we're never going to see the American dream. We're the hardest working generation, and we're just getting the American dream that we were told that we were promised to get. The same people that told us that we were going to get it, they don't give a fuck. They just call us lazy and tell us to strap up our bootstraps. Well, we're trying to. We're making good money. We're trying to make the right decisions, and we still don't have a pot to piss in, and we're almost middle fucking aged.
Welcome back. As I said, the white dream started back then in 1931, and it worked back then. But up to now, white people have been living a lie. I ain't the one saying. They are the one who are realizing and saying about it. Something shifted. Something black people have been feeling for a very long time, for generations. A whole generation of white Americans now feel it. Whole generation, like right now, feel that the American dream is no more. The dream isn't working anymore. Wages are flat. You have heard from the videos. People are complaining about the wages and everything, working hours with low wage. Healthcare is a mess. Home ownership is hard and out of reach. You can have a degree, the school you have gone having these degrees and still drowning in student loans. They're out here complaining. You can work 2 jobs and still be living paycheck to paycheck. You can have even three jobs but still suffering. The American dream that people have been living to think it's no more. And when I said black American knew it first, or when I'm talking about black American are not or they knew about this for a very long time, it's because black people have always known the system, how the system has been working, the breakage in the system, or how the system was broken. Black people have been living in this, not just the system, but they have been trying to break black people. So black people ancestors, I'm trying to think on my own, black people ancestors didn't believe in the dream the way white people ancestors believed in it. That's why what I'm trying to think. Black people ancestors or grandparents believed in survival mode. They believe in trying to survive, work hard within there and everything just to be there. In a community of faith, in resistance, because they had to. Because they came through slavery. And in slavery, there wasn't a dream. There was just surviving. And no matter how hard black people worked hard, the rules were never written in favor of them. No matter how hard black people work, the rules are not for us. The rules are not for black people. The policies that are kept there are not for black people. Black people have mastered a way to live within this, within their own means. But white people, on the other hand, they have been believing this dream because the system have always been favored them. And that's why I always say, those who believe in the white privilege, white supremacy and white privilege, and the white people who believe in the white privilege, sometimes it is too risky for them because they can fall into these mental health issues when they believe that white privilege is only for white people, or when the white privilege fail to protect them. Take a moment to think about this. Black families were locked out of generational wealth or wealth building for generations. They were locked out of house ownership, positive economic. And when white families were building equity in suburbs, black families were stuck in redlining zones. So when white farmers got promoted, black people were told that they were overqualified or not a good fit. I wonder, the strategy that was being used to redline black people or being used to deny them job access, that you are overqualified, that is brainwash. Black people will be there, I'm overqualified to this job, but deep down, they don't want to give you that job. And when white protesters were called patriots, black protesters were called thugs. You understand? Black protesters, like when they go to protest, they are seen as thugs. But when white people go on the street, they are seen as patriots. It's something created in the mind of white people and black people. Let me tell you for free, white people have been washed too. Middle class white people or working class white people, they have been washed too up to now. I know they can't, or you can't accept that as my white brother, but you have been brainwashed too by the white privilege narrative, patriotic narrative. It's not working for middle class people or poor white people. Now, there's a quote here I came across from MLK, Angela Davis, and James Baldwin. James Baldwin said this, I'm not your, that word they used to call black people, because black Americans were never given the luxury of that illusion in the first place. Now, right now, the system is eating its own children. The system, it's eating itself. Middle class white Americans, once they dream bigger, they were bigger believers of the American dream, are getting crushed by the same weight that always been on black people or black Americans. Job insecurity, medical debt, no safety net, no future. For you black Americans who are watching this video, does that sound familiar? That has been reality of black people for centuries. It has been realities of black Americans for centuries. No security, bad health, medical debt, school debt, job insecurity, unfair wages. It has been stories of black people for so long. But white Americans are starting to experiencing it right now, especially the working class or middle class or poor class. And the kids of nowadays, they see it too. When I say the kid of nowadays, I talk about the Gen Z. And Gen Z, they ain't buying into the grind culture like the parents. You see what's happening with the young leaders in Africa. Exactly what's happening to the young white kids. They are openly questioning capitalism. They are talking about the mental health, about fairness, about starting over. It is eating them. And the kids are like, whoa. We can't continue like this. And every phrase, American dream, feel outdated right now. When you talk about the American dream, people will look at you like, what are you talking about? The dream is no more there. Because how can you dream when your rent is due? How can you dream when you cannot afford medical care? How can you dream when you can't own a house? How can you dream when there is insecurity? How can you dream when there is unfair wages or wage payment, or the wage payment is too low, working for so long hours? So this is where regrets start to hit. When I talk about the white people or white America is regretting, this is where it starts to hit. For white Americans, the pain is fresh. It feels like betrayal. But for black Americans, it's a confirmation that it was reality. We have been telling you for decades. Black people have been talking for decades. White or black women too have been talking to white women for decades. But now the feeling to white America is fresh. It's a crisis, and that's not bitterness. It is history. It's not just about calling out. It's about calling in. It's what if this is a chance that finally see things clearly? A chance to white people to finally see things how it is. To see that they have been living a lie for all this time. Now, here's the thing. If the dream is dead, maybe that's not a tragedy. Maybe it's just a beginning of black Americans having the power. Because black Americans have always known how to dream differently. We build joy out of struggles. We turned pain into poetry. We turned survival into art. Maybe now, white America can stop chasing an illusion and start building something real. Black Americans have been doing something just, something shared. No, not back to normal, but forward into something better. And something better it's black people. And when I talk about black power or changing or shifting of power, this is where it's beginning to start. Because when white people are crying, when white people are trying to regret the American dream, black people are like, oh, this has been our way. It's nothing good like going to an exam room, finding a very difficult question, and you know very well your mother was beating you up when you are young trying to master this thing. People are like, okay, this is new, but you were there before. You knew what's going on. You end up being the leader. You end up winning, becoming the ruler. Maybe this is time for power to shift. Maybe it's time to end the privilege. Maybe it's time to understand the privilege is all a lie. Maybe it's time for black people to shine again. This isn't about guilty. It's about truth. It's about what if we can sit in the truth together, white people and black people, maybe we can finally create a dream that belongs to all of us. But for how things is going on, it's so hard for white America to sit down in one table with black America trying to discuss the dream, because they always believe their dream is better. They always believe they are better than maybe black people. Nothing is built on a lies, exclusion, but one rooted in solidarity, justice, and dignity. It is the best. And that's why black people having this solidarity together, black people having the dignity and working together, they are trying to create a good economy that a lot of people are trying to like we want to live like you. If this video spoke to you, if this video has something to you, please share and subscribe, drop a comment. What does the American dream mean to you today? What does the American dream mean to you today? Do you think it's still alive? Do you think it's time to shift power from white supremacy to black power? Tell me in the comment section. Till next episode, peace out.